What's going on, Ecom Dominators? Cynthia Lee here, and I am so happy for you to join me today in today's video. So today I'm going to be answering a question that a lot of you have been asking me inside my Facebook group, and that is, how much money do you need to start your own Shopify store? Okay, actually I should be a little bit more specific. To start your own print-on-demand Shopify store. Okay, now I know a lot of people who are inside of my group are doing drop shipping. Okay, now I have done drop shipping in the beginning before I actually moved over to print-on-demand, and let me tell you why. Okay, for me, I don't believe that drop shipping from China is a real business model, okay? Because the long shipment times, usually due to customs, okay, they're going to tell you that it actually takes 2 weeks from door to door to get that product to the customer, okay? But from my experience, okay, due to, I don't know, the overseas shipment, it usually takes a lot longer than that. Usually your customers would have to wait anywhere from 1 month to 2 months just to receive that product, okay? And so, how would you feel as a customer that you have to wait, a month or two just to get that product, okay? For me, I would never return to that place to purchase any of my products, okay? So that's why I don't believe that the drop shipping model from, overseas is a real business model, okay? I like to do print on demand because all of the suppliers are based inside the US. Therefore, you're going to get faster shipping equals happy customers equals returning customers equals more revenue for you, okay? So I always support people to open up their own t-shirt store rather than drop shipping from China using AliExpress, things like that, all right? But other than that, let's get started on how much money you need to open up your own print-on-demand t-shirt store, okay? So the first thing you'll need is the Shopify store, which the trial for the cheapest plan is actually $29. That's the cheapest one, okay? It's honestly not that expensive per month. That's like paying $1 a day. I mean, but with Shopify, they give you a 14-day free trial, okay? You literally only really need 14 days to test your niche, okay? Figure out if your designs are selling, okay? Figure out if you can scale, okay? Before even paying a dime to Shopify, right? Just for running your own store, okay? So that's why I love the Shopify plus the print-on-demand business model, okay? You literally do not have to pay Shopify anything. You just have to test your designs, all right? So to start out, let's just say that you do pass the 14-day free trial, and a more conservative number is, let's just say you have to pay that $29 per month, okay? So that's how much you will need, okay? So the next thing you'll need is a front page banner, okay? And over here, I say that you don't need any money because I know a lot of people have been asking me, they want to pay for these high quality, designs because they want their banner picture to be, perfect, okay? Well, there's a lot of websites that actually offer these royalty free images that are very high quality that you can actually download and upload inside of your Shopify store for free, okay? And you can go on, Pixabay. There's a lot of other websites like called Unsplash, okay? You can do it for free, okay? So no cost there, okay? Now the next thing you need is your own logo, okay? Now logos, you can actually get it done for very cheap. You can literally go on Fiverr.com, get it done for $5, $10. Depending on the complexity that you want your design to be, you can pay in upwards of, $20, $30, all right? But usually, I don't pay any more than 20 bucks for my logo to be done, all right? But you definitely need to have an actual logo because that's very important for branding, okay? So right here I say you need at least $10 for that, and that's a very conservative number to start out with. Now, a lot of people say, well, Cynthia, I actually don't have the money to go out there and get a logo, okay? I'd rather save that money to spend it on design, spend it on Facebook ads, and that's understandable, okay? If you are tight on your budget, there's a site that I recommend. It's called canva.com. Okay, you can actually register and you can create your own logo for free, and it looks semi-professional, but that's if you really are tight on your budget and you don't have any money to start. Okay, but moving forward, if you do generate some income from your store, I'd recommend going out to an actual real designer and getting a logo done catered to your niche, catered to your store. Okay, that is so important. Okay, but you know, as starting out, if you don't have any money, obviously you can get a free one done on canva.com. All right, so the next one that you'll need are Shopify apps, and right here I only listed 2, okay, because these 2 apps are a must. Okay, mandatory for all of my Shopify stores. Every single Shopify stores that I own have these 2 apps. Okay, there is no questioning, there's no, you know, if and, you know, or buts, or I always need these. Okay, and the first one that I have is called the Abandonment Protector. Okay, that one cost about $8 per month, and it's really not that expensive if you think about it. Okay, the return on investment just from getting that app is a lot higher than, you know, than the cost that you'll be paying them. So you'll definitely need that. Okay, in all of my stores, no matter what niche I'm in, I find that I generate more revenue just from having that app. Okay, so I definitely have that app. Now I need to make a disclaimer that inside my bootcamp, inside my masterclass, I, you know, talk about so many other apps that I actually download and use, and most of them is paid. Okay, but starting out, if you don't have the money to afford the other apps, these 2 are mandatory ones. So these are the only 2 that I actually include inside of the list here as to how much money you need to start if you are tight on a budget. All right, so the next one is an upsell apps. Now, if you go on Shopify, the app store, there are so many upsell apps that offer the same exact function. Okay, now the one that I'm using is called Bold Upsells. I'm only using them because they're actually the cheapest one on the market. Okay, now of course, if you find a cheaper one, go ahead and use them. Okay, but I tend to love Bold Upsells. I love their app design. It's very intuitive, it's easy to use, user friendly, and so theirs is actually not that expensive. Okay, $9.99, about $10 a month. Okay, that is an incredible deal for what it can do, because you know, you need an upsell. Okay, because that's really going to generate you a lot more revenue than if you don't have it. Okay, trust me, it will over time it'll pay for itself. Okay, so, you know, if we add that up, we are going to pay in total $18 per month. It is not a one-time fee, so it's something that you have to pay every month. Okay, but still a great investment. You will earn it back from all of the sales that you'll be generating with print on demand. All right, so the next one is designs. Okay, now if you are following my technique, I usually recommend that whenever you start a new Shopify niche store, I recommend getting 5 designs to fully test if this niche is working for you. Okay, and so for me, on average, every design, a good design, usually costs around $20 to $30. Okay, I'm going to say 20 here. Okay, now of course, you know, a lot of people are going to say, Cynthia, I go on Fiverr and I see I can get a design done for $5 or $10. That's true, but usually from my experience, the $5 designs are usually just a plain text. Okay, and you know, $10 really just, they will probably add some graphics here and there, but usually the $5 to $10 designs are really not that great. I haven't sold a lot of t-shirts with those designs. Okay, for me, whenever I pay the $20 designs, they're a lot more you know, just different and unique, and I have many winning campaigns from selling t-shirts at that price point. Okay, so when you're starting out, I recommend 5 designs. So let's just say 5 times 20, you're going to be spending anywhere from $100, around $100 on your designs. Okay, now it's good if you can find a designer that can do it for $15. Great, that's amazing. Okay, but that's just what I found for me. Okay, so let's just say as the most conservative number, you'll need $100 saved up just to purchase your own designs. All right. Unless you're a designer, of course, you can do your own. Now, the next one is your domain. Now, starting out with any Shopify store, you definitely need your own domain. Do not launch your store with the generic, yourstore.myshopify.com. Never ever launch a store without your own custom domain, which you definitely have to go out there and purchase on your own. Okay, so you can either go on GoDaddy.com or Namecheap.com. I personally use Namecheap.com just because they're a little bit cheaper than GoDaddy. Okay, so usually I pay anywhere from $9 and some cents after that for that domain. So let's round it up and say you need $10 for your domain, okay, which is actually not that expensive. $10 for a domain, and you get that for an entire year because you renew it every year. Okay, so if you ask yourself, would you buy something from a store that can't even afford their own domain name? And that goes to another aspect of trust. Okay, customers don't trust the store that can't even afford their own domain. It's going to be very sketchy. It's going to be say dogstore.myshopify.com. Not a lot of people would trust that site. Okay, so definitely have your own unique domain name that you go out there and purchase. Okay, now last but not least is Facebook ads. Okay, now I know a lot of people have different strategies and how to test Facebook ads. This is purely if you are using my strategy, which honestly I think mine has the best strategy. A lot of my students have found success just using this strategy to test designs. All right, so how you do it is I recommend running $5 per day, okay, for 5 days per each t-shirt. Okay, so in total for every t-shirt that you test, you're going to be spending anywhere from at least $25 just to test to see if it works, if your customers are responding to it, things like that. Okay, so in total you'll need to spend, because I recommend 5 designs, $125 in total to test out every single one of those designs to see if that niche is profitable and if you can scale it. All right, now in total, if you add all of this up, you'll be getting $292 in total. Okay, and so you round it up, that's about little less than $300 just to get started on your own print-on-demand Shopify store. Okay, that a lot of people may say, oh Cynthia, that's a lot of money. Well, say that Shopify store that you launched, okay, that niche, okay, and you're able to sell t-shirt campaigns that's generating you $1,000 per day. That's very little investment to start out with. Very, very little, okay? And not to mention, once you scale, you're going to be making upwards of $2,000 per day, $5,000 per day, right? And so very, very little investment that you need, okay? Now, I don't want to leave everyone hanging, okay, just on how much money that you need to start your own Shopify store, but I also want to let everyone know when I first started my journey. Okay, so over here, okay, let me just scroll over. I'm going to show everyone how much it cost me to learn everything by myself. Okay, that's when not a lot of people were selling t-shirts back in 2012. It really just sort of all got started, and it was a great time, but there was very little guidance because not a lot of people were doing it. Now, over here, I have listed everything that I needed to pay for in the beginning, and how much I pay for it, and how much money I could have saved had I had a mentor or a course or someone to guide me through it. Okay, but of course there was really no one talking about it back in 2012. So right now I'm going to break it down for you. Okay, so when I first got started, I actually overpaid for my logo. Okay, because I had this mentality that a expensive logo has got to be the best logo. Okay, and that's simply not true. Looking back today, there are so many designers that can do the exact work for a whole lot cheaper. Okay, so as I mentioned before, you can actually get a logo done for about $10. Okay, at that time I actually spent around $185 in all 3 of my logos that I got started, because I started with 3 three different stores that I wanted to run at the same time. So if you look down here, okay, just move this up here. These are all the logos that I actually went onto Fiverr and I got them done. But you see, for one of the logos, I paid $60. For one of the other ones, $55, $70 for a logo. Honestly, looking back, that I overpaid for it, and I really did not need a logo that is that expensive. There's so many logos that I can get for a way cheaper price, okay, than that. So if I add it all up, coming back here, okay, I spent about $185, okay, which I can actually spend a whole lot less than that, okay, because I can actually spend $30, right? Because $10 per each logo, $30. I could have saved $155 just from the logo alone. That $155, I can actually spend it on buying designs, spending on Facebook ads, okay? So I wish someone would have told me, you know, you don't really need to spend that much money on your logo. You really only need a you know, a $10 or $15 design logo, okay? Now, the next one is I overpay for designs. Now, for me, per design, I actually spend $60 per design to be done. And if you look over here, this is a screenshot of all the designs that I got done, all for $60 from the same designer. And, you know, I have, till today, I have spent $100 even on one design. Those are very, very detailed designs, sometimes depending on your niche, okay? And that's fine, okay? But the quality that I was getting for $60 at that time was, looking back, I can actually get the same exact quality, same exact design complexity for $30, half the price, okay? I did not have to pay $60. So I wish I had someone who told me that I did not need to pay that much for my designs. And of course, I bought 10 of those. So 60 times 10 was $600 that I paid, which I could have easily saved that $400 had I, you know, had some guidance and been told, all right? And so the next one is not understanding Facebook ads. Literally, this is the worst one for me because, you know, at that time, Facebook ads back then was very different than today, okay? There's a lot more features, functions, a lot more interest groups, things like that, okay? But I really had to refine my strategy, how to fully test to see if this design is really working. Should I scale? Should I cut? You know, what should I do? How do I know this design won't sell, okay? And after running so many tests on Facebook, I have refined my own technique, okay? And that's what I explained to you before. My strategy for testing any new designs is obviously $5 per day for 5 days, $25 in total to figure out and grab all the data to figure out if this t-shirt will be working, okay? Is this t-shirt a winning t-shirt or is it a losing t-shirt that I need to cut immediately? I don't want to spend any more money. I have done many tests. $25 is the best price point because I've tested, I've gone above, you know, beyond the point of $50, $100, okay? And I realized that even at those higher price points, it didn't give me any more data than at $25. So $25 is the best testing price point than $50, $100 because they're going to tell you the same exact data, okay? So over the years, I have refined that technique that I want to share with everyone today. And because I did not know, I literally was overspending. I didn't know when to cut. I didn't know, you know, how to figure out if a design will be profitable or not. Okay, and I didn't know how to scale. Okay, so all in all, I actually lost a total of $2,500, which I can actually save, you know, about $2,000 had I had some guidance of someone telling me, you know, what's the right way to test, what is the right way to scale, okay? So the next one I want to talk about is bad supplier. Now, a lot of suppliers have came out since 2012, and I remember 2012, I had the mentality that every supplier are created equal, and that is not true, okay? There are some suppliers that are terrible because they don't have the manpower in place, they don't have the equipment, the employees to basically print out all of your orders in a day. Okay, I was literally sending them hundreds and hundreds of orders a day, and when I started to scale, literally thousands a day, and they couldn't keep up with the orders that I'm giving them, as well as the other clients that they have. And so I had not realized that within those 5 days that none of those orders were going out. They were not fulfilling any of them. And so till today, honestly, from back in 2012, there were still unfulfilled orders. And what ended up happening was I had to refund all of my customers and take the hit for it and just move on from there, find a different supplier, okay? And so that was a very devastating hit. I had a lot of bad reviews from customers from that single Shopify store that I could not redeem myself. I could not come back. I had to shut down that Shopify store completely and start a new one, new Shopify store name, new logo, new everything, and just start over, okay? But the second time I did it, I was smart about it. I did my research on finding a good supplier and I went with them, okay? And so if you want to know the #1 supplier that I recommend, I have a link down below. It's called Printful. I have a review and a demo on how to actually use Printful, which is my supplier right now, okay? So if you want to or you're interested, go ahead and click the link and check it out, okay? Really great video. So picking a supplier, like I said, is so important, because if you don't pick a good supplier, they will not be fulfilling orders. You'll be getting a lot of angry customers. You're going to have to deal with returns and things like that. Returns, refunds, okay? So I actually took a loss of $5,000 just from that, probably even more. I honestly don't remember, but it was at least $5,000 that I have lost just starting out, just not knowing which supplier to go with, okay? So right here, I put that I could actually save that $5,000. I didn't have to do any of those refunds, okay? That I didn't have to start over all those ad costs that I poured into the campaign that I couldn't get back because I had to end up refunding everyone, okay? So if I add it all up, I end up, I could have saved about $8,000 if you think about it, okay? That $8,000 to me is a lot of money that I can actually save and actually go out there and spend it on Facebook ads, test new designs, things that are important, okay? So over here, I actually put the cost of my course, which is $9.99, okay, versus how much that I actually paid to learn how to do it the right way. Okay, just learning everything by myself. I paid about, $7,900 just to learn everything myself, just to learn, which supplier to go with, how to test my designs, things like that. Okay, so if you would have asked me, before, would I spend $9.99 for a course, for guidance, for a mentor, versus losing that $8,000, down the drain? Okay, I'd of course would have paid for someone to help me, okay? Because that not only saves me money, but time, and time is money. I spent so many months, okay, just trying to create that trust with my customer, and ultimately losing it because I picked a bad supplier that could not fulfill my orders, okay? So it's so important that you find yourself a mentor, someone to guide you, okay? So, obviously, if you're interested, I recommend that you go ahead and join my T-shirt masterclass, where I'll teach you everything from picking your niche to picking a good supplier, from picking even a good designer, okay, to get good quality design, how to run your Facebook ads, how to scale your Facebook ads. I have 7 different scaling techniques that I teach, okay? All of my students are all finding success from there, okay? And also, I don't only teach you Facebook ads, because that's a lot of people are teaching Facebook ads. I also teach you Pinterest ads, Twitter, how to build your own Etsy, okay? And I'll also expand to things like, Snapchat and Reddit, which I'm working on currently and hoping to bring that value to my students as well, okay? Because I never want my students to just focus on one traffic source, always diversify, because you don't want to just depend on just Facebook alone, all right? So now, let's do a recap, okay, before you leave. And in total, you're going to need about $300 to start, okay? You're going to need, if you're going to be paying for Shopify, if you're going to be going over the 14-day free trial, you're going to be paying $29, logo $10, the apps $18 minimum, designs about $100, your domain you need to pay it $10, and then your Facebook ads $125 in total, okay? So I hope this video is helpful. I hope you get a sense of how much money you kind of need to save up before hopping into this business. You know, I wish I could tell you that it's all butterflies and rainbows and you don't need any money to start, but unfortunately, starting any business, you definitely need some sort of startup cost. But, you know, let me ask you this question. What business out there can you start today with literally $300 to test out an idea? Because a lot of businesses, you know, don't actually work, okay? Because, and you know, what happens if they don't work? You're left with a bunch of inventory, okay? You're left with so many bills to pay, right? We're not asking you to go out there and, you know, rent out a warehouse or buy 1,000 t-shirts in every single color imaginable, spend money on expensive equipment. You know, it's not all, I'm not telling you to do any of that, right? So, you know, $300 to testing out a business is an incredible business. And so if you are interested, I recommend that you check out my free training, okay? Go to build.teebootcamp.com. That's build.teebootcamp.com. Go ahead and register for that free training, okay? I'll take you from start to finish on how to build your own print-on-demand t-shirt store, how to upload your first design, and also run your first campaign all under 60 minutes, okay? Super, super easy. It's really nothing hard about it, okay? But if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next one.